you for reminding. Wow, Simon, it looks like a great mojito or gin and tonic.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow, very stylish. So, where are you? No, we're not doing a check-in today because it's a big group. Anyway, so just to say that, so this is the moment, like it's happening now. After the visit to the land that was super successful, after about 60 people came to the land and showed their positive approach and also a lot of fun. And since we're in the middle of the due diligence, clearing a lot of unknowns in the deal and getting more clarity, and also some challenges with the owner that is selling and seeing that you like, we need to take this opportunity. It's like we need to penetrate reality. It's like it's a moment where we can catch it and do it. And so we went again over the business plan, over all the numbers, making sure that we are standing very in a stable way behind the numbers, behind the concept, behind our decision. And so last Friday we had the gathering of the Israeli group. We shared everything and we've opened it for registration. And we've opened it for two different ways to enable more people to say yes to it. So one is the opportunity to become a founding partner that has a share in the cooperative. I call it a share, although it's like it's a membership, but to simplify, it's a share. I will say what you get from having it, but a share in the cooperative and a plot with building rights and the potential to build your home on that land. So this is for the first 14. We're doing it for 14 because it's based on what we are 100% sure that we can deliver as homes with the building rights that are already approved. Once we get more, then we will open it for more. And as I explained also on the land, and I will say it now as well, like there is a big opportunity also as an investment. This is not like the main reason to come, but there is an opportunity. And also there is a risk. So these first 14 are kind of putting their investment and their support to the project and helping us to buy the land. And then the second way to do it is to be a partner that buys a share without deciding yet on a land and on a home. And this is for people that want to be part of the project, want to support it, and also want to have the opportunity when we open it for more plots and homes to be able to extend or expand their investment and their commitment to the land. So maybe you have a yes for the project, you have a yes for what we're doing, and you're not sure yet that you want to have a home, or you don't necessarily have the funds now, or you need some more time in the process, but you want to take the first step into it. So that's these are the opportunities, or like the things that we've opened now. And I will say a few words about the share in the cooperative. So being a partner, being a member in the cooperative gives two main rights. So first is governance and influence and involvement. So when you are a partner, you have governance rights in the assembly. You can hold positions, formal positions. You can be part of some of the forums like the council and other committees that will be in the cooperative. And this is the time where like the most influence is happening. This is the time to be part and to design together the cooperative. So that's the side of the governance. And the side of the financial rights, so we believe, and we have like a good grounding for that there will be surplus in this project. So we're going to create abundance based on the the work that we will do on the land, based on the culture that we will bring, based on the resources that we already have and find on the land. I mentioned a couple of them when we've been to the land in the visit, but so for example, we have the solar plant that the municipality already gave us a green light, and there is the father of Amit that is here is also supporting it in this, and the value of this lease for a professional company to operate is between 2 to 3 million. So this is like something that we can generate. We have the agriculture that already exists, and we want to develop it, and we are meeting potential partners for this. So this is another line. And there is all the hospitality, content, retreats, festivals that are already want to happen on the land. So we have like a very solid ground, and I can go over with you also if you want to see more the spreadsheet and our assumptions and everything, and you're invited to inquire more. So we have very solid ground to believe that we will be able to generate it. A cooperative is not giving dividends, but is giving the well-being and quality of life for people that are part of it. It could be for people that are on the land, as subsidizing some of the expenses, giving free education or food or free electricity and water and events and content. And actually, this is what we're trying to create, a place where we can live the best life that we want without worrying. We won't necessarily become millionaires, but we'll have a very high quality of life, a lot of support from the land, from the community, from the cooperative. So this is the side of the financials, the financial side. And also to say that, you know, since we know that we'll have at least 50 homes now on the land, like based on what is clear that we have from the building rights, and there is a good chance that we'll have 100 homes and more square meters for tourism. So this is also part of growing the land. So if we buy it based on a smaller group, and then we have the ability to bring more people on board, so more people on board will bring their resources and will be able to develop the land more and to create more abundance for all of us. So this is the kind of explaining a little bit about the share. And then the side of the home, so we are allocating plots, not necessarily like totally separate, but it will be as clusters, as already mentioned. So a couple of families or a group or a community living together in homes together on a hill, sharing the public space together. This is also a way to construct the community and enable more diversity. So imagine there is the group that wants to live together and explore sexuality, and there is the group that wants to be more like in the permaculture, or the group of the vegan, or the group of my friends from home. It doesn't matter, but this is a way to create this kind of cluster and to have the diversity in the community, and allow people to be exploring more. But also, I see we have Mike here. I just mentioned you. Hi. Mike is helping us with the solar plant. So just to say that we are like, it's going to be structured as clusters for groups developing it together. I don't remember why I started talking about the clusters, but anyway, there was a reason. What else can I say? So we have 14 units of homes now, and we have 35 shares without homes. This is what we've opened now. We feel that this is the capacity that we can hold as a community and as a cooperative now. And then we're going to open it on the next stage, most probably around August, for more to join. But there is a limit, and we are building it gradually. And I want to give you the other side of it. So the other side is that there is a dynamic of a deal of buying this land. We are supposed to sign the promissory contract around mid-July. First payment is 100,000 euros. And next payment, second payment is at the end of September, and it's already 1.5 million euro. So we want to make sure that we have the funding by the community. And so there is some kind of tension here between the rhythm of building the community organically, slowly, making sure that each person that enters is ready, that we did a process, that we're starting from a small group of pioneers and then growing slowly. And then there is the dynamic of the deal and the fact that we need to bring money and we don't want to raise money from financial investors or banks. So in this tension we live now. And I think that we've reached a point where, you know, now it's not only about what I'm saying or what the core team is saying, now is about the voice of the community and the ability of us to to lean forward, to lean inside and actually put our resources in order to make it happen. And I think this is like a big challenge for us and also a big opportunity. I can say that me personally, of course, I'm investing and also putting a major loan from my funds to bridge and to help us do it, make this deal happen. And I'm inviting more people, if you know them, or you are maybe one of you. So it's a very fair loan with 7% interest, with the backing of the land itself. It's not something that will be paid on a monthly basis. It will be paid after 2 or 3 years with the ability to extend it to 5 years. But if one of you is interested, or if you know someone that is interested, you can send them to me. We want to make sure that people that give this loan are aligned with the vision and are coming first because they believe and they want to support, and then because it's a fair loan. And I think it's also not a very risky one because we have the land. So this is the loan side. And I started to say that I stand behind these numbers, like for the ones who already know me, and I think I've met most of you, and for whatever my reputation and my experience gives here as a support for us to make the decision, I feel that I'm totally standing behind the numbers. I can help each one of you understand. I think it's a major decision. For some of us, it's a very significant one. Maybe all our free money to do it. But I think that if we want to make this project happen, if we want to stand behind the Game Be mindset that we are talking about, if we want it to be funded and owned by the community, and so this is what we need to do, and it's better to do it now. I think now it's the time. So the tension between the dynamic of the deal and the dynamic of growing the community, or each one on journey in making this decision, is not necessarily totally synchronized. And what we're trying to do now is to help to synchronize it more. So on the one hand, working with the owner, the seller, to build a gradual deal and enabling us to pay over a year. And on the other hand, giving us as a community all the information, all the support that is needed to be confident and to make a decision. One of the things that we are doing now is the fact that until we raise at least 600,000, we won't use any of the money. So it will be pending, like in crowdfunding projects. And once we get to it, we will start using the money. And you know, there is all process around how we use the money, what are the signature rights, the budget, and since we are opening the cooperative very soon, I had today a call with our lawyers about it, also the Swiss ones and the Portuguese ones. So I can tell you that, you know, there is a whole governance system, not only what we are building from what we believe that is right to manage it, but also the regulation that support us to make sure that everything is done in a very safe and transparent and stable way. So I think I will stop now for a moment for questions, and then we'll continue a bit more.
Can I?
Quick question.
Yeah, go.
Okay. So maybe I missed this, but when is the final deadline to pay the full 6.5 million for the land? Like,
so the schedule that we are now talking about, so we have the first payment now in July, second payment end of September, third payment end of December, which is another about 1.5, and then the rest at the end of April.
and while I've still got the mic, where did the estimates of the building costs come from? Because like it feels a little bit low. I've like looked into cost of building a home before, and it seems a little bit low.
So I'm finishing a project in Porto now. So I have like a good understanding of numbers. I also compared it to other projects and talked to other people about it. Actually, we believe that it might be even lower than this, because we are building like it's a big project, and we plan to use the power of the community with all the builders and use resources that we have on the land. So it depends on the method that we're going to use, but we might be able to build it for less even. But we put numbers that we believe that are reasonable numbers. But if there is something specific about the numbers that you feel that you need more explanation, we can dive even deeper. Maybe I will open the spreadsheet like a couple of minutes, like 10 minutes from now, for people that want to dive into the numbers, and we'll give a bit more time for questions.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to go. I see someone is raising the hand, but I jumped before. So, hi everyone. I'm Moses. I'm very happy to be here. Couldn't join the few last sessions, but present is more important than everything. So I think for me, I want to understand why the landlord decides to leave this incredible, amazing, unbelievable piece of land.
Good question. So his name is Carlos. He grew up in Portugal and left Portugal when he was 23 years old to Germany. He's a very talented engineer and entrepreneur that started a couple of factories. He's manufacturing the screens of the iPhones and the symbols of the Mercedes, things around the glass and steel and plastic work. This is his business, and he did some, he sold a couple of his companies, and he had a dream to have like a land where he can show his vision and ability to regenerate a land. He's 67 years old. He has a daughter that lives in Sintra, which is connected to our kind of tribe, let's call it. And also a son that is living in Portugal, and two young children from his Vietnamese wife living together with him in the Black Forest in Germany. He's also Buddhist in the last 20 years. And he's a very, like, he's a great person, very humble, and you can see all the love that he put in the land. But he never lived on the land. In the last 12 years that he owns the land, he never lived there. His family didn't want to live there with him. He had a lot of challenges with the authorities. There was a big scandal in the municipality of Grandula 5 years ago. Some people went to jail because of corruption. He was not willing to pay, so they did like a hard time for him. and he's a very proud and stubborn man. So he didn't walk between the, you know, the drops, let's call it. And also he's tired. I think he's getting older. He feels the age. He sees how much work needs to be done. And I think also he realizes that this is not a project for one man. And he's a one-man show. And he understands that it won't happen if there won't be life on this land, if there won't be children living there, being born there, growing there, if there won't be a community celebrating the land. And I think from this side, I think he really is happy to kind of pass over this land to us. I believe he could sell it for more. The market value of this land is more than what we agreed. He started from almost 10 million euros. I didn't want to see the land because of the price. And the very sweet broker, which is surprising, usually I don't like brokers, but Jose, the broker, really insisted. He said, look, this is something special. You come see it, you know, you can always say, like, give like a very low price. So I did it, and I'm happy that I did it, because it's very special, you know, having all the infrastructure already and having all these building rights. I can also dive deeper into the building rights if people would want a bit later. Anyway, so just to say that I think he's tired and he wants to move on, and he wants to make sure that the land is alive. So that's his reason. He doesn't need the money.
Okay, great. Thank you. He's going to remain a partner? He's going to be part of the still holding the land?
I think not. Like, the deal now is structured in a way that he's not going to stay a partner. When I'm working around hedging the deal with all the unknowns, so I'm trying to keep like an option in the contract to leave him for a while as a partner in order to lower the amount of money that we need to bring. I don't really want it, because I think it's, you know, it's mixing things that shouldn't be mixed. He has his own way, he has his own vision, and not necessarily the right thing to do from our community perspective. But to have it as like an option to, if in any case we need, I think this would be a good option, yeah. But this is not like planned.
So can I come in here?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so okay, it's just me sitting here, but we're a couple, David and Anita, English, Polish couple. We already have residency in Malta. Yeah, this first simple question, the 14,000 for a membership, it's like for a family, it's not per person. Just to clarify.
It's per share.
Per share.
The share can be owned by a group. Also, a home can be owned by a group or a family. But the right is like one vote, one share, one vote. But you can own it together, of course. I can say, even me personally, I hope that we will have more people owning homes together, owning shares together. So yeah, like, for the long run, I mean, I would hope to see this way.
Thank you. So my next question, you just mentioned about the building permissions. We have been looking at land to make a community, but yours seems more advanced and we're a much smaller group. We're currently looking at 80 hectares in more east than you are in Alentejo. But having met some of you in Malta and previously, it's interesting to jump in and follow what you're doing. And we did have a chat the other day, David. So here we are face to face, not driving this time. So yeah, I'm interested because I know the problems of trying to get permissions. And are you expecting every piece of land to be available for permanent construction, temporary construction? I think in one of your talks, you were talking about yurts and things, but can you just give a bit more information about the reality and
Yes.
what may be allowed and whether that affects the price of land, etc.? Thank you.
Yes. So I will start by what we have 100% clarity about what exists. So we have 2,000 square meters of homes that are built, renovated, and listed and licensed. This is what we have, like you can see it in the video. The people that visited, we stayed there. It's like a very high level of renovation, very nice, nicely done. On top of it, we have 29 units for tourism that include 58 beds. And this is a permit that was already approved and supposed to receive like the final approval, most probably until September. So this is like a permit to build it. Some of it will be built in houses that already exist, and some of it is an additional construction. About, I think, half of the units will be new, and half of it will be in like a big house that is now not renovated, but not a total ruin, like something in between. And this is something that we will have for sure. And then on top of it, we have two more main building rights. One is the ruins that we have. So we have almost 8,000 square meters of ruins that exist, that are licensed and that are being paid for, like the taxes, and have all the conditions to be rebuilt. There is like the regulation says that if the ruin was listed before 1951 or something like that, and is being paid like the yearly tax, so you can renovate it. And so for this, we have about almost 8,000 square meters of ruins that we can use. And we are now like analyzing every ruin to make sure that it's licensed and it's been paid and everything. And these ruins, we will gradually start renovating. And there are two ways to do it. One is to renovate and then go to municipality and say, I renovated it, give me a license. And the other, this is what the owner did until now on the houses that he renovated. And another option is to come and say, okay, this is my plan, I want to renovate, I get the feedback from the municipality, and then I go and do it. And sometimes they can say, oh, don't do this, don't do that, or whatever. So we will need to decide on the way we're going to do it. And it might take time, we might not be able to do all at once. But I think it's also connected to the rhythm of the project and doing like one ruin, filling it, learning, and then doing a bit more. We have a plan to have like a big construction festival, building festival around next April, and to bring the community and all the hands and all the builders and use the resources on the land to do it ourselves with some professional support. And then on top of the ruins, we have zoning, a plan for tourism that gives us the right to use 6% of the total usable land for tourism. This is less, let's say, less validated, or the percentage to receive this is unknown to me yet. I know that it's possible. I know that people did it. The architect believed that it's possible, but it's a longer process. And we need, in order to do it, we will need to do a survey for the forests that we have there, because for now in the municipal mapping, it shows that like some of the areas are very like dense forest, and it's not the situation. And also to do like a fire safety survey, because also again, because of the trees that does not exist, but that shows on the map, some of the areas are considered like a high risk of fire, although this is not the case of this land. The ones that were there can saw it, and also the professional team checked it. But potentially we're talking about 45,000 square meters. I don't think that we will get there, but even if we will only get 10,000 square meters for tourism, it's a lot. So in this, under these rights, we also want to have an area for camping, for campers or for light construction and stuff like that. So, but these are things that will most probably be added along the way. And there also there's the gray area, things that we can do in the gray area that I'm not considering it as building rights. And this is why we're not putting it in our plan, but it is possible to do it in such a big land. So yeah, I hope it answers the building rights capacity question.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Hi. So, hi everyone, I'm Noah. Nice to meet you. Nice to see the ones that I know already. I wanted to understand if there is a really opportunity to purchase a house together. This is the first time I'm hearing about this option, and it's nice. So, is there a limit? Like, how do you do it?
So we didn't prepare for groups that want to buy together an agreement between themselves. Like this is something that needs to be done. But it's like a partnership. A group is buying it together. There needs to be some kind of agreement within the group, how to use it, how to make decisions and everything. And there is like one vote for this as well, but it is possible. It's possible, and I think it's a beautiful thing to do as well.
And the house is like it's supposed to be on 1.5 dunam, and it's
1,500 square meter of land, but it's not necessarily like a square plot. So it could be a cluster of I don't know 10 homes with 15,000 square meters around it of shared public land for use or for nature or whatever.
And the houses, like with the 14 houses, it's the ones that exist already, or it's like the ruins?
So we are not allocating yet homes. Maybe it's a good time to explain this. So the first 14 are coming like entrepreneurs, partners in this venture, and not like people that are coming to give money and receive a home, specific home, because there is like a period of time between the time that we need to close the deal and the time that we will have homes to allocate. So we already have in our agreement the mechanism of allocation of homes and how we're going to do it, but we're not allocating yet, and we're going to use the funds of the first 14 and maybe also the next 15 that will join for the homes. I said that there are 29 units that are being approved now. We will use it to purchase the land, and then the next phase, so there is like a little risk or time risk until we get all the building rights and bringing all the money that will enable us to buy the land and also to build it. This is something that is done, like I did similar deals where a little group bought the land and then brought a bigger group to fund the construction, and then everybody received their apartment or their home or whatever. But the first group is taking a bigger risk. This is also why we are giving like a strong incentive for the first group. So paying a bit less, like 20,000 euro less for the plot and the building rights, and receiving 2 shares for the first 14. So there is an incentive because they are taking a bigger risk here and enabling the deal to happen. So
what is the risk?
The risk that they are taking, first of all, they are putting all the money, like the investment schedule that they have is creating a situation where they put all the investment, the total 180, before we finish buying the land. Okay, so we use all their funds to buy the land, and then the money to construct their homes will come from the next phase, the next group of people coming. The next group of people will put money that won't go to buy the land because it's already bought, but will go to fund construction. So in between, there is a risk. Maybe no one will invest in the second phase. Maybe it will take more time to receive the building rights, and other risks that might occur in such a deal. So the first group are real pioneers that are taking some kind of risk, getting also a reward for this risk. I don't see it like as a high risk, because we did like a deep analysis of the building rights. We have a very professional team for that. So I don't think that we won't have at least 29 homes to give. And also understanding that the potential of the businesses we're going to have on the land, agriculture, the solar, etc., is also giving confidence that we will have more than the funds that we need. I will show in a moment in the spreadsheet, but you will see that we are, if we proceed with the plan that we have, so we will finish the process of purchasing the land with, if I consider all the building rights, with a delta of about 2 million euros that we will be able to use to develop the land more. This is after construction of homes.
Alan,
Hi.
Thank you.
I also have some questions. Hi, my name is Efrat. Hello, everyone. I wrote it. I have a lot of questions, if it's okay.
Yes, sure. Thank you.
So I follow the group like in the WhatsApp group for a long time now, and something in my guts likes it, and a lot, and also something in my guts also is really scared about stuff, because this is how I raised, and this is Israel, so we are scared. And so I wanted to ask first, do you know if I'm on level 7 of getting a citizenship in Portugal? So I wanted to know if you know about some money arrangements in Portugal, like if I want to, I don't have this fund, this money, and if I would like to join, if I'm a citizen, can I get like a mortgage for the land, or do you know something about it?
Yeah, I know that some of the people from the group checked it. I won't count on it. If I'm you, I won't count on it. Not in the next year, let's say. Not as a citizen in Portugal and not as a foreigner. So yeah, this is my honest answer.
Okay. And okay, do you have a timeline? Like, I know, but like a very big timeline. It's really vague, but still, like in the next, I don't know, 2 years, we purchase the land, and in the next 4 years, we get the homes, or something like that.
I can give you like the timeline, also adding many things. So mid-July, we are signing the promissory agreement. Beginning of August, we are coming to the land to prepare the summer village. And then on the 14th of August, we are starting the summer village, which is like a small scale experience of the village that we want to have, but with all the elements, with governance, with cultural practice, with grown-ups and children, and a lot of things. And then this summer village is gonna end on the last weekend of August with like a festival of 3 days. It will be open for people that did not attend the practice group, but want to come and visit and be part of Garden of Life. And then in September, we're starting the temporary village. So the pioneer group that is led by Makatu, and many faces are here already, are going to start living on the land and start feeling it, learning it, doing some work, bringing their energy into the land. And from that moment, we're going to start developing, for example, like a place for our retreats and festivals. This will be one of the first things. A guest house based on one of the big house, the main house of the owner, that will host some, I think, about 15 rooms with the swimming pool. And we're going to start to like small scale gatherings of people from the community that are holding ceremonies and retreats. And we plan to have around December a regeneration festival where we are going to bring as much people from the community to plant trees and to seed and to capture more water and to develop the infrastructure for this. And then somewhere in the spring, we want to have like a construction festival, as I said. These are going to be gatherings of the community that we're going to do stuff together, but we're going to also celebrate. And in between, we're going to continue as we do now with the practice groups, with the gatherings, with meeting together, and people will be invited to visit the land over that time and coming to feel it, to see it, and etc. And as I mentioned before, during this time, we're going to pay more parts of the land, owning it fully at the end of April. And then the plan is to start the permanent village next summer, and to do it with like a big celebration, already having some home constructed, at least the 29 units, already have some business happening on the land and getting some revenues entering the land and enabling us to support the land itself. And then from that moment on, we will continue developing the land. Hopefully we'll have enough children to have like a real education system next summer already. And in parallel to this, we are working on the network itself, collaborating with other projects. I see that Sam is here from TDF and OASA, a beautiful project that is happening not too far from us, near San Luis, and Matan Phil from Common and Amnon that is here, that we are planning to collaborate on the tech level, and V that we met this morning around his project Wake, and many other things that are going to come inside. The idea is to bring our tribe together and to create a place where we can collaborate and realize Game B and experiment in Game B more and more. So that's
it really sounds amazing. But I wanted to ask, like, the amount of money that the first founders requested to pay, it's including the house already? Or we need to pay more like for the house when we're going to build?
So the people that are investing to get a home are investing 180,000 euros in trenches, and this is including the construction of the home. The 14,000, which gives you the membership in the cooperative, is not including that. It's just only a fraction of the land and all the activity on the land and the governance rights that you receive with this.
Okay, and can you tell me about the weather there? Like, is it like the Galili? Is it like the, I don't know, Pardes Chana, or?
First of all, this is a very sweet question. Thank you.
I live in Upper Galili, so
yeah, I think to help all the group, because I think half of the people here at least are not Israelis, and more than half of the people that are in the community are not Israelis, and we hope to cap the number of Israelis not more than 25%. So, but just to give an answer, so it's 20 minutes from the beach, so it's not that hot like you would find in Alentejo. But in August, it could be very hot and more than 30 degrees, and even like on the average, 2 days can reach also 38 degrees. This is the maximum. It's dry area, but we have 2 big lakes, and water is coming to the land, and we have from the calculation of the owner, we have, even if we'll have 4 years of no rain at all, we will still have water. But it's not, it's a bit dry, like it's a dry area. So not a lot of rain and not totally green. But you need to feel it and visit, and also to look at Google it, yeah.
And we already did the rain dance.
Comfortable weather, I think, yeah.
We'll do
we did-
ceremony. Yeah.
In the flat, we already did rain dancing there, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Yofi.
we had rain now in May when we were there. So any
When-
other questions?
yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I
Ask.
just want to know, like, if we have a place there, like, can we, we have a dream, okay, to make like a small restaurant and like a small guest house, and this is our dream for Portugal anyway. And we wanted to know, like, if this kind of thing can happen in this community.
Generally speaking, yes. More specifically, there are projects that we want to initiate as a cooperative, the big projects that require more resources and energy and professionality. And there are projects that people from the community can initiate, and we will encourage it. And then there will be some kind of agreement between the person, the member of the community, and the cooperative around the specific project. There will be also grants and support, but if it's a project that the community that you are proposing, for example, and the community wants to support, you will receive it. And if not, you will still be able to do it, but then you will need to support it. But there is an option to do it. And I think this is we want to create the playground exactly for these things to happen. And not necessarily that everything that everybody wants will happen. And some things we will want to make sure on the cooperative level that it's in high enough level of execution and of sustainability financially and also environmentally. But
two things I would add about that, or three. First of all, I love your food frat, and maybe you want to come in the summer and cook for us. And
Maybe.
that's one thing. Another, the landowner received already approval for a 400 square meter restaurant that we will need to get a budget for it and create it. But of course, the land will have an amazing restaurant that we love to have there. But yeah, it depends on our, like, what is the roadmap of the things we want to create on the land, and it will be for us to decide, the people that we live there, and the co-op to decide.
Yeah, and of course our vegetables that we grow by ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I finished my questions. Thank you.
thank you for your question. I'm sure other people wanted to ask similar questions, so you did a service for everyone.
Are there any fruit trees on the land, just out of interest? It's something, it's very nice if it's already some fruit.
We have 10,000 fruit trees that were planted by the owner. A couple of thousands of almonds, less than 2,000 of bananas and papayas, and other kinds of trees, like many kinds of trees. And there is like a nursery that has now, I think, currently 3,000 trees to be planted on the land.
Thank you.
I also have a question, and I might have missed it because I was a bit late. Sorry. But what does the kind of like the shareholders' right? What are the shareholders' rights? Like, what does it mean? What does it give us, both in terms of decision-making power and like financially? And if it was discussed, then I will see the recording.
It was, but I think I can add a lot of things. I want to answer this question now from like the experience level. Okay, so when you have a membership in the cooperative, it means that you own part of what the cooperative is doing. You are a shared owner, fractional owner of everything. On the experience level, what it means for me is that I have a home. I have a place that I can come whenever I want, based on the availability of homes and places to put my camper or tent or whatever. In times of challenge, in times of COVID, in times of I don't know what, I can go there. Whatever the government says, I can come, I can put my tent, I can sleep by the lake, I can be with my people, and this is my sanctuary in the world. And on the experience level, this is the first thing. So the people that have a share in the cooperative, This is their home. They can come whenever they want. We will have, the policy to make sure that we are not coming too many people in the same time, not having enough space, creating a lot of friction that is not necessarily needed. But, in times of need, this is your home. This is your place to bring your dreams. This is your place to build your business, or bring your creativity, or hold your retreats or ceremonies. This is the place to invite your friends and family to come. This is our playground. So that's on the experience level, being a member in the cooperative. And for me, this is the highest level of this membership. And then you have the financial rights. So if the cooperative is creating surplus, we will share this surplus for the community. It could be in developing more business streams to bring more abundance in the community, but it could be in supporting people in grants. It could be in giving like free vegetable every week, or free electricity and water, or giving like the best education in the world that you can imagine, or whatever we will decide to do with it. And and seeing good kibbutzim. Kibbutz is like the community settlement in Israel. So seeing like successful ones are bringing a lot of abundance to the members of the kibbutz. And this is what we want to have here. So we're gonna have like our private ownership on our land, on our small land and home. It's not like a commune, it's not socialist, but we will have also a lot of areas where we will enjoy the power of the community financially as well. So also having a cooperative to purchase things in larger scale and getting better prices, and many, many other things that you can do in a cooperative. Today, we define the kind of cooperative that we are opening. So it's a hybrid of 4 kinds of cooperative legally established in Portugal. So one is a housing cooperative, the other is cultural one, a third one is agriculture, and fourth one is educational. Each one gives us some benefits, tax exemption, for example, and ability to receive support from the EU and from the Portuguese state. And also they give us some other interesting abilities and rights to do things, to apply to things, to create some different projects, to invite people with a visa to come and be in these projects. Yeah, this is also a thing that we can do. So we are now really diving deep into this and making sure that our agreement is supporting it. So that's around the financial side of it and other benefits. And there is the governance right. So being a member is having a vote, is having the ability to hold a role, is having the ability to make decisions, is having the ability to give a proposal, and all these other things. I'm talking about a cooperative and not about like a DAO or other Web3 entities. Maybe some of you are more familiar, because I want to simplify it and also to be flowing with the stream of the current regulation and not creating challenges around this thing. I will say that for people that are more interested in this topic, we have a group for this. We are talking about it. We are making sure that we will be able to have, for example, a token if we want, when we want it, but we are not building the project around it in order not to limit ourselves, because it's also very challenging. I hope it answered your question.
It did, and it brought up. Can I have a follow-up?
Yeah,
Can I continue?
go ahead.
So it sounds like, at least at the beginning, there's going to be a circle of kind of like the believers, and there's going to be a significant circle or circles around them that are people who have like varying levels of commitment into and already the circles are quite big. So I'm interested in kind of like what's the dynamic between shareholders and the external circle, and how that works.
So if you don't mind keeping this question for a bit later, I feel that this is not like in the mainstream of the conversation, and I want to make sure that we answer other questions before. Thanks, Tal.
I wanted to say something, since it's 9:35 and we're after an hour on this topic, and I also want us to talk about the summer and all the conversations around that. So I want to say, first of all, that I will put a link for those of you who are interested either as shareholders or homeowners, like with all the different legal contracts and things you want to read or know about. And I also want to ask you to reach out to me. Like, let's have a direct connection. This is the most important thing. Our most important effort right now is to make sure that we as a community can deliver. So I'm going to put it here. And I also want to say that like also us in the team, we come with different financial abilities and with different, some of us have children and some don't, and like with different circumstances. And the way I see it is that we live in a world of uncertainty, and this is my way to create certainty in my life. And this is my way to have, you know, we've been already through one pandemic. Climate is changing. You know, we live in a very unstable world. If you have money, you can buy yourself a lot of things, but you can't buy a community. And this is something that is very unique. I know there are a lot of projects, but I think it's very unique, and but we are accountable for it. So now it's our time to say, if we have the strong community that we think we have, that is able to pull through and to reach those funds and to allow us to do it. And we know it's possible. It has to be possible, and this land isn't perfect, but it's damn well close to perfect. And there's enough, like there's so much more than we could have ever asked for. Like so many trees have been planted. There is water. Our chances to be self-sufficient energetically is incredible. So all those things, it really is an opportunity, and we really need you in order to have that. So I'm reaching out and I'm telling you, just, you know, text me. I'm writing now like the form. So to write yourself in the form, and I will reach out to you. And I think this is a good time to talk about the summer, David.
אני אשמח גם לכמה שאלות.
In English.
I'm sorry, I will.
Yeah. So let's give like 10 more minutes, but like choose questions that are like you think that are significant in the topic of being a founding partner in the cooperative.
Okay.
And then we'll move to the questions around the summer village and the plan for August.
I want to ask about the structure of the house. If if the possibility of buying a few people one house, if there is the possibility to play with the interior structure of the house.
First of all, like the answer is yes, but there will be limitations, and until we have like a real plan, I cannot really answer you what will be the limitations. But you know, you have like a box, and you can what you do inside is more flexible.
Okay, thank you. The other one. So actually from this year that the first people from the community got on the land to live there.
What is the question?
I mean that if you said that in the people from the community from July starting to come to the land.
From September, we're starting the temporary village, and people will be able to live there. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And another question in the. I want to ask about the area. If
So let's Benny, let's leave it for a bit later. I think this is information that we gave, and I want to let people ask more about the side of the to make the decision, okay? And
okay,
and we'll go back to it even later if you want together.
okay, thank you.
One last question regarding the investment.
Well, my last question was about the investment. If it's
Okay, so we will go back to the area and stuff like that. So sorry, I think that we can talk a bit about the summer. Makato, are you here? You want to say a word before we go to the budget and numbers?
Yeah, I said a bit, but coming for the summer, it's not like let's go on a vacation. It's more like we want to come in service. We want to jump into a community experiment where we're going to see how is it to live on the land together. And we inviting all of you to join that. We feel like we're going to be around, there are going to be stages, but the first or the middle stage where like from the 15, basically, we're going to be in a 9 days of living together. Could be 40 to 60 people. We don't know yet. Of with kids of, how do we collaborate together? How do we co-create life from food, being with kids, building and just learning and celebrating and doing processes together. And closer to the end of the time, we're going to have 3 days that we're going to open it even more and invite a bigger circle of people to join us for kind of a festival. You know, we're not ready yet to do big festivals on the land. We will be able to do that next year, many events, but that'll be our first experiment of a big group of people being together. And you know, the best way for us to see what are the things that we need to deal with is basically to be together. We can talk about it as much as we want, but actually being on the land together. Some of the group will be people that know that they're moving already. Some of them are all people that already are in and invested money, and some I want to try it. All of the people that will be in the summer, in the middle part, like the 9 days, will be people that went through the Zoom calls. So if you haven't done the Zoom 5 meetings yet, that's your first step, basically. And maybe we can put a link on that here. Rava, if you have it handy, that'll be great. And we're starting one next week in English. And this is the time for us to meet online, to get to know each other. And the money you're going to put on that, it's how much is it in euros? Actually, I'm not sure. I think it's a couple hundred or 250 euros, I think. And this money will be used for you for the summer. So we want you to come for the Zoom to get to know each other. And then we want you to come for the summer and for us to live. Of course, you'll be able to do your own things there. There will be a working space. And that'll be your time to shine. Whether you like cooking or you like to work with kids, or you're a musician, or you want to share your yoga skills or meditation. We have a huge temple there. I don't know if you're aware of what we have on the land, but it's amazing. So we're going to do daily practice on the temple, and we have some plans of the projects we want to do on there. And also we're opening it to what are the groups and the people want to bring. So we have a lot of plans for those couple of weeks. And I'm open for questions on the summer as well. We're finalizing it now. So we have the prices already, and we have the dates. And any question here is welcome. And so maybe I'll say a bit more. We have only 8 rooms. And for that, sorry, my cat was doing a thing. and for that you have there are a few left. So if you're like, I need a room, so yeah, you will need to pay a bit more. And actually there is an adjustment on the price, so we will send you the new information. And others, you're gonna come, you can bring your camper or you can camp, and of course it'll be including food. And yeah, open for more questions, or if any one of the team would like to add more information.
Yeah, so I think there was a little discussion in the Telegram group about the budget and how we got to it. So I want to say a word about this. So we have like a very main principle in Garden of Life is that we are taking care of the expenses that we have as a community. So we built this summer gathering budget to be not too expensive. We can go over it, but eventually we've reached the fact that it's going to be 60 euros per day, including food and everything, including all the content and events. We didn't want to break it into to separate it. I know that for some people it might be a bit high, for other people it might be more reasonable. But we did a long discussion today to check if we are able to stand behind this number like very in a solid way, and we feel that we can. We don't have a lot of things to take out of this budget. We might be able, if there will be enough people coming, we might be able to have some spare money and then to decide what to do, either to give people back some of the money. But we want to make sure that this event, like all of our events, is at least break even. No one is getting profit out of it, but this is the reason this is the cost. So because we need to pay rent to the landowner, we need to adjust some of the things, and not all the budget is on the summer. So some of the expenses are going to be coming from the budget of the setup of the land of the deal that we are creating. So some equipment that we're going to buy is not going to be paid by people coming for the summer, and some other expenses that we are putting there. And we decided to also to open support for people that are unable to come, or they have challenge to come because of the cost of this event. So we will put a link later on, and people can reach out to this and receive some support. So that's around numbers. I know that there were questions about it, and feel free to ask hard question about it. This is time for that. Yeah.
David,
So
you don't want to share the budget just to give.
We can share it in a moment. Yes.
Okay.
yes, so we are paying rent on the land for this summer village.
So I was there meeting with the landowner, and basically there is the cost of the rooms, which he already priced that. And there is the price, we're waiting for his quote. So he understand the temple is for free, you know, he's Buddhist and he don't want to charge for the temple, but for the rest, he would like to receive some, because he's helping us with putting some water pipes to the new kitchen we want to make. And he's also going to stop some of his working there of the team. And he has he will price the facilities, and we ask him to give us as low as possible. And we don't have this number yet. So we managed to roll out the numbers and the prices per day, knowing there will be more costs. So we put some unexpected on the budget, and you will see that as well. So yeah, there will be some cost for the rooms, not for the rooms, for the halls or for the spaces we're going to use.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
My question is about like the topics or the ideas about what we talk or what we do there, because I think it's a big difference between people who go to live there and they want to plan their life, like how to live, education, culture, and people who see themselves in the second circle, like the visitor or tourist, and
I can't understand how it will work, because if all the discussions will be about the future, so it's really important, but I'm not there yet. So
yeah, so I
understand.
I can answer it quickly, although it's not like the main subject now. But I will just say, I don't know if you've been to our previous conversation, but Garden
Yeah,
of Life is around healthy relationship. This is the focus. It's so all the content and the practice, also the onboarding groups are dealing with it, of what is healthy communication, healthy boundaries, and healthy relationship with ourselves, with other people, with nature, with power and money and sexuality. And this is the main thing that we are exploring together as a community and experimenting in. So all of our events, all the content is around this in different levels of depth, of exploration, of you know of working together as a collective and also as individuals. For example, in the summer, there is a team that is already planning to create like a personal development plan for people that want to attend this process. You come with an intention, and there is a group that is supporting each other, working during these 2 weeks on something that they want to work about. So most of the things are in the present, not dealing with the future. So don't worry about that. We are very focused on here and now.
Also, I want to say something, that we've had a meeting this Friday in Israel about the summer, and it was kind of co-created about the summer, and we just asked people what they want to bring to the summer, and each one who had some calling just came and said. So there was like the community pub, and someone wanted to address music, and someone wanted to address people who need to work during that time, and how to have the co-working space. And so I put in the chat the Telegram group that we opened, and it all also already has channels with the topics that we started discussing. But if any of you have topics and things that you want to bring to the summer and that is important to you, then join the Telegram group, and it's about co-creation. And in general, what we are trying to create is something that has to share this responsibility. We are not hosting. This is like we're trying to bring this into being, but to have all of us taking part and taking responsibility in this together. And so if it's important for anyone that, I don't know, there will be a session about, I don't know, coffee, then do that, and bring that, and bring yourself, because eventually the summer will be what we will make of it. So it's an invitation. In what I put in the chat, there is the registration, which has the numbers, and the Telegram group with the different channels, and you are all invited to take part and decide what's going to be there.
Okay, more questions?
Happy birthday, David. Thank you for being with us during your birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Ciao.
Bye. Congratulations.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, David.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Simon.
Lineke.
Yeah, I just want to confirm that for the daily rate, is the same for everybody, regardless of the type of accommodation
But
and
one second,
regardless of the length.
there is someone that need to mute because it's hard to hear this way.
Maybe it's me.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you hear anything I said?
If you can say it again, please.
So everybody is paying the same for the daily rate for the summer camp, regardless of accommodation, and regardless of the total length of the day. So if you stay for the full length, it's coming like close to 1,000 euros for the whole. Is that correct?
So we were thinking about this to create some different levels. So for example, if people that are coming for a short period of time or coming for the last weekend, it will be a bit more. And for people that are coming for a longer period of time, it will be a bit less. We want to encourage people to come for a longer time. I feel that at least for now, like we have still some unknowns, and we feel that we need to give people answers to enable people to make the decision about the summer and to give us the ability to commit to some of the expenses. So I'm sure that we will come very soon with more answers and then more clarity about this. But I think, you know, start with thinking that this is going to be the full price, you know, and then let us surprise you with better budget. We prefer not to underperform, but to surprise with good surprises, and hope to do it before the gathering is starting even. Any other questions, someone?
David, I know of two people here in the group that asked, okay, so some people are putting money in and buying a land, but I want to move in as a pioneer, but now I don't have the money. Can you just speak for this option for them?
Yes, sure. So yeah, there are people that have a lot of energy and a lot of gifts and the ability to come to the land and to contribute, but not necessarily having the funds to become cooperative partners. So we're opening it for also for people that want to come and to stay and to bring their life force. And we are also thinking about ways to compensate for people that are bringing their energy over time. So this is not something that we have all the solutions yet, but we have a real intention not to have money as a main barrier. And so we are inviting people to come, to stay, to rent a home, to stay for a short while or a longer time, to help building it, to hold some of the roles. Not all the people, not all the group of the people coming in the first phase will have necessarily a role, but it's an open invitation also for this. And I think that eventually we would want to create some kind of balance between the financial ability that is needed, obviously, in order to do it, and with the energy and gifts that people can contribute that are not financial. This is part of, I think, what we're trying to create here. And I think that we are now in a very special moment, because once we have the land, our flexibility to bring on people that, you know, are not necessarily successful financially in game A, but have a lot to contribute, will be much higher. But in order to do that, we need like the first phase of having a land, and not being like an idea, but being a reality. And this is where we are now. So there is this kind of a special moment. But once we'll have the land, I think that a lot of opportunities will be open for people that want to come and stay and bring their gifts and contribute and do it in a beautiful way. I'm sure it will happen. This is my dream, that, you know, we'll have an economy that values laugh and inspiration and giving birth to a child or a poem or an orgasm or a tree, whatever. Like the good things of life will be valued in our economy and will help people that don't necessarily know how to translate it into money, to be able to translate this into abundance and to look at life force as energy that can convert from like light that converts to electricity or to heat. So also our life force can convert from inspiration to creation through music, but also to money and power. Like this is also manifestations of life force. And we want to give like a lot of respect to all these manifestations. So this was like a very like a formal conversation about details and stuff like that. And I'm going to open also the spreadsheet for the ones that survived until now and want to look at it together. And there will be also a recording if you are too tired to listen. But just to say that eventually, like now, after this question and talking about this, actually, this is why we started everything. And this is the core concept of the community, to be able to move freely between different manifestations of life force in a healthy way, not holding spirituality, but not holding power and money, not being too concentrated on power and money without being connected to our emotions, but actually bridging between these different mindsets in a healthy way and in a way that supports life for us and for everyone. So that's actually why we are here. Not for investment, not for budget, but we need it. This is our ground. Simon or Lineke.
Yeah, David, sorry, there's background noise here, but I just wanted to say that I don't have a question. I just have a comment, which is I just want to affirm the core team in all you're doing is fucking amazing, right? And I just want to congratulate you for your efforts so far. I'm totally impressed with the spirit, the dynamism, the detail, completely inspiring. So fantastic. Well done.
Thank you. Benny, you wanna ask the question that I kind of postponed earlier? You're muted.
Muted, Benny. We can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
Now it's okay? Okay. I want to talk about the worst case scenario. If the cooperative is falling apart, what will be? There is a
So yeah, good question. Good question. We need to prepare for the worst case scenario. So the way we structure the deal, and actually all of the deals that I'm doing in my business life, I have like a way out. So in this case, we have a way out in certain phases under certain conditions. For example, if we discover that there is something around the mine that we have on the land that is not suitable for living or whatever, although we did some checks, but along the way we discover it, we can back from the deal. If we're unable to raise the money, we can, but we already paid some of it, we can back from the deal. In this case, we have a penalty. This is the 100,000 euros that we are paying on the signing of the contract. In business, in the business world, this is like a very small penalty for such a huge deal, but it will be painful, of course. I hope we won't get there, but this is a way out. Some of the way out is also without penalty. If it's like, for example, if we discover something around building rights or other stuff, we are now articulating exactly the conditions, and this is also part of the negotiation. So this is before we buy the land. After we buy the land, imagine, I don't know, something is not working, okay? Imagine the cooperative is not functioning and we need to close. So in this case, also we have the, in the contract, in the agreement of the cooperative, we have, I don't remember the exact words for that, but we have the ability to close the cooperative, and then there is a certain procedure, and then we liquidate it, and we just distribute the money to the shareholders based on their shares. And then, so most probably in this situation, in our crazy world where land is scarce and getting more expensive every day, most probably in this case, we will receive at least the money that we invested, if not more than that, I believe. So this is also like a scenario that might happen. Hopefully not.
Okay, and I trying to talk about the stage that after the village is already living for a while, and like 7 years from now, and I will believe it will be happen, that everything will be fine, and there was going to be a beautiful village, and but I don't know. I said like the worst case scenario, all the living characters behind this, like I don't know, you and Ronnie and Ava, are going to, I don't know, everyone going to his place, and
Establish the next village of Garden of Life in Bali. Yeah.
I hope so. Wow. Now you're talking. And what going to be in this kind of situation about the houses? Is this place is a living place? I don't know the area. That's why I'm asking if there is a village there that is like alive. And
so I think you've asked a couple of questions. So I will answer. I will try to answer all the, I think, 3 questions. So one question is around us as a core team, or let's say people that are more involved now, and what will happen if they are taking a step back. So we are building it from day one, not as a project that is dependent on a person. And so once the cooperative is established, we will have the formal entities in the cooperative, and there will be also change in the people, and we will vote for that. Like I won't necessarily be in the council, for example, a year from now or 2 years from now, and each one of us will be able to offer his energy and time to hold different roles. So I think in this case, I'm not worried. I think that we have a lot of talented people in the community already, and more people that will come, and more people that we will discover that we don't know yet. So around this, I'm not really worried. About the area, if I understand your question, so we are 1 hour and 15 minutes from Lisbon. We are 20 minutes from Grandula, which is like a major town. We are about 20-25 minutes from the beach. There is a train station 10 minutes from the land. And I think that, looking at this, I think that, and there are a few communities around us. So I think that it's not like a total isolated land that, if people are not there, like you have nothing to do around or whatever. I think this is the part of the reason that we chose this land, to have the connectivity to the world. It's really nice to be like isolated for a while, but after a year or 2 you want to be connected, so, or even earlier. So it's nice to have the opportunity to go for a day in Lisbon, for example. I think it could be very refreshing, at least for some of the people, or go to the beach. So this is also possible.
okay, thank you. I got it.
Great. So we have.
We have Truman and Ayala.
All right, so I was telling a friend of mine about the land, and he was pretty interested, but kind of only on the condition that he could be part of like a cluster that does like regenerative agriculture with like cows and cattle, and kind of wanted to guarantee that that was going to be like an accepted, like that there is like he could kind of maintain his carnivore-ish lifestyle with cows and stuff there. So I wanted to see if I could take that guarantee to him.
Yeah, I'm not sure we had this conversation on the land. Was it with you?
Yeah, well, that was like kind of my concern, but I just wanted, like, before I talk to him again, like make sure there's like a guarantee that this would
Roman,
be
or
something.
like it's a question you're asking for your friend, or no? I'm joking.
I have, it's very similar to me, yes.
So I think I told you that I personally I do eat meat, and I try to eat it in a conscious way. I think that there is a place for that on the land. I think that, you know, conscious way of growing livestock has a place, in my opinion. But eventually, you know, the community will need to decide, and I don't think that people will say no. Maybe there will be limitations. Yeah, don't do it like it's not a public thing. Don't do it on a scale, do it in a very like conscious way, and etc. etc. There are also farms not too far from our land, so we won't necessarily to do it ourselves totally. So maybe this could happen outside of the land. So I think that if it's important for people, it will be possible one way or another.
Okay.
Okay, so David, can you mute? Okay, already he muted. Great.
Yeah. Okay. Eyal?
Yeah,
Or
hi.
Truman, you have another question, or? Yes, Eyal.
So just wanted to say I really like the part when you talked about like the vision and bringing us up from the details, and just to say that like if it would be like even for me, if every talk would be just a little bit like vision, or how the vision is connected to the current talk, it will be wonderful, and could be like other like not necessarily the same words every time, but you know, I think you know what I mean. That's it.
Great. Thank you. I'm taking it. So just raise your hand if you're open to look at the spreadsheet. If we have like a charge for this. Yeah. Okay. I see a couple of hands. It's enough. And if you don't want, this is your time to say goodbye. I'm going to share my screen in a moment.
Yeah, good night to everyone. It's okay. To those who don't want, we will post it afterwards.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, and Yasmin, until David finds the Excel, do you want to say something?
Hi, everyone. If I want to say it, something very excited for the summer, and I do have questions about things that will happen in the summer, but it's more that I could plan things for the educational group, and I think it's enough when we speak in our next educational meeting with Ronnie, hopefully. So yeah, I'm just very excited to hear everything. And yeah, I see also the Excel has already been shared. So thank you, Arava. And yes, that's it for me.
Thanks, Yasmin. Yeah, actually, a lot of exciting things are happening around education for big children and small children. So yeah, I think it's going to be beautiful. So I'm going through the spreadsheet, and I will stop from time to time for questions, when you can raise your hand if you have a question. So this is a summary. I'm going through the summary. Behind these, we have a lot of other numbers and comparisons and market research, etc., etc. So You see the land here is 6.6, but it's actually already 6.5. We have legal fees, we have tax that actually today we understand that we will pay less tax than was expected. So this is the formal number. We have all the due diligence with architects and other service providers that are supporting us, and creating the co-op and some contingency here around things that are happening with the due diligence mostly. So that's the total cost of the deal, to buy the land with everything around it. And then we have setup cost for the public infrastructure. So some construction of roads, electricity and internet, cyber optic, and some lights. So this is a serious infrastructure that we want to put in the first year. Regeneration of the land, multi-use space, festival facilities, maintenance of the dams, a guest house, pipes and recycling center, and security and boundaries that don't exist yet. We might need to do it, and fire, and some upgrades we want to do to the workshop to be able to build things, and kitchen that we want to have like a very serious main kitchen, and a car that we want to have, and some contingency on that because there are a lot of unknowns. So this is our budget for the first year for the setup of things that we believe that we will need to do. It might change a bit, but the numbers here are like based on a lot of thinking that we did. I will have a pause here for questions if you want someone until now. Okay. So now, before moving to the construction itself, I want to explain how we got to the numbers, 14,000 and the 42,000 and everything. So this is the table over here. So what we did was taking the total cost of the land and then breaking it into different values. So for example, we have the value of the construction rights for residential square meters. So we did a market research and we found out that 1 square meter of building rights is worth on average 300 euros. So we took 120 square meters of a home, multiplied by 3. This is part of what is the line 48 that you see, 49, sorry, of land plus building rights. Okay. This is the line over here that I'm showing, 42,000. And then we took what is the value of a land that without the building rights, just 1,500 square meters of just land. It's considered a rustic land. So, and this is 4 euros per square meters. This calculation comes from a value of hectare, okay, of this kind of hectare in this area. And this is how we got to this number of between 42 to 62,000 euros per a plot with the building rights. And then I went and I compared it to other projects in the area. There are a lot of big projects of second homes in the area because it's not far from Lisbon and not far from the beach. And obviously we are much more affordable than they are. So for example, if you want to buy a house in such a project, like 10 minutes from our land, it will cost somewhere between 300,000 to 500,000 euros. The house on a similar scale of land and building rights, more high-end and more like a branded project, gated community, blah blah blah. But eventually, if I extract from it the building rights, we are in a good market price and even a bit less than the market. And then we took everything that we got left. So all the building rights multiplied by these values. This is the part that we are selling or giving to the community on the individual ownership. So 108 homes. This is our assumption that we will be able to reach, multiply by 42,000. Okay, that's this part. And then we took all the public land, all the land that is not going to be private for homes, the lakes, the roads, all the public houses, the warehouses, the guest house, the solar field, the touristic building rights, etc., etc., etc. And he took all of these, and we calculated the value, and then we went and saw and took the cost of the land, the total cost of the land. We deducted the value of the private land. We wanted to see that we wanted to make sure that the value of the public land in the way we calculated is more than the value that is left here in this equation. I hope you're following me. It's a bit complicated. And then we divided it by 200. We said we want to have about 200 shares in the cooperative. And this is how we got to 14,000. There is a chance that we will have more shares in the cooperative over time. But the way the main plan for now is not to have more than 200 in the next year or year and a half of people that are members in the cooperative and have a share. So if we will have in the future, these people and their investment will go to develop more, but not to fund the basic level of the project. So this is why we got to 14,000. We could put, for example, 300 people, 300 shares, okay, and maybe it will put I cannot change it for some reason. Now I can change it. For example, if I put 300 shares, so then something is not connected here, but anyway, we could reach a lower number, not 14, let's say 9 or 10. But we think that, getting to 300 members in the cooperative is too much for now, and there is risk that we won't get there. So we need to make sure that it makes sense. So this is the number, and this is the assumption that we have to reach 200 over time. And then we have the construction costs. So, and maybe I will, before the construction cost, a question, someone wants to clarify something? Just speak freely. Okay. So going to the construction costs. So we calculated it this way. So the cost of platform of just arranging the land itself, and then the part of the access road that this house is contributing on the cluster level, and then water system, just the pipe getting there to the cluster. So also the part of one home out of 10, and then electricity, and then planning and permit for the specific home. And then the construction itself that is actually calculated by 800 euros per square meter of construction, which is a very reasonable price for like a standard level of construction. It's not high-end, and it's not with the like all the infrastructure inside on the furnishing and everything. And then some legal and co-op fee for taking care of it, because there are also overheads of administration that we will have. And then we took this and we added contingency of 10% on top of it. And this is how we got to the 124,000. Of course, if someone will want to invest more and to invest more in his home, it's possible, of course. But we think that within this budget, we can get to a very decent standard home. And people like project managers that I'm working with, they took a look at our numbers and they say that it makes sense also for them. And then, yeah, this is the number. I'm sure that it won't be the final number eventually. Might be a bit more, might be a bit less, but this is the number that we decided to put here in the calculation. And this brings us to the 180 that we were mentioning before. To construct to invest and have a home. Yeah. So questions about that? Great. I want to go over some other things here. So we have the general and administrative yearly expenses of legal and accounting and member relation, like kind of community management and managing the village itself, or the operation of the village and everything, and office supplies and everything that you can see here, transportation, and also the part of the ecosystem itself that we are contributing on the village level to build Garden of Life. And then we have some other expenses on the ongoing expenses on your yearly level. So for the car and for maintenance and other general things, like we want to keep one of the employees that is now in the land and knows everything about the land and can fix all the machinery that we have on the land. And so these are other expenses. And when we calculate all these expenses, the ongoing expenses, and divided by the number of people that we believe that will be on the land in every moment, then we get to a monthly community fee of 184 euros and per home. By the way, this is calculated on a home basis. And this is to maintain the land and to make sure that the land is being taken care of in a good way, and that all the systems are intact, and that the place looks good and that it's been developed. So this is another number to have in mind. So I think it's less than city tax in big cities, at least less than what we are paying here in Tel Aviv for sure, and especially for what we're getting here. And now I want to show you this table. So it's kind of an investment balance. It's a checkup that I'm doing to make sure that we are okay. So the model that you are seeing now is without calculating the construction cost. Okay, it's only the co-op share and the building rights. The reason I did it this way is because I wanted to make sure that in this case we are still positive. So in this case, if we have 200 shares in the next year that are being distributed and 108 homes, so we are with a positive balance of almost 1 million euro, which is, I think, a healthy thing to do. It's good to have a positive delta, to have a stable project. And then if I change the model to with construction, so I put number one here. So you will see that if we are raising it with the construction cost, we are finishing after constructing everything with a delta of 2 million, with the unexpected of 10 to 20%, depends on the expense. And I think this is also, again, a smart thing to do, a stable project with 2 million delta. It's about 10% delta on the total expense of buying the land and developing all the setup for the public space and all the construction, without other investments on other revenue streams. More investment on the retreat center or I don't know, educational center or other things that we might want to do. So these investments will come from either joint ventures with other people or more money that we will raise to develop them. Any questions about that? Okay. And then I want to show you another thing, which is my personal risk assessment, let's call it. So because we are not sure how many homes we will have, like we know that we will have at least 29, I feel very comfortable to say that we will have 50, and then having 180, and 180 is something that is not yet validated enough with the municipality. But I wanted to check like what happens in every scenario and to see that we have some hedging, okay, on that. So imagine that we understand that we have only 29 homes. We cannot invest more, like we cannot invite more people to invest in their home. What happens then? So the layers that we have is, first layer is support loan, okay, or bridge loan, that we have already 1 million euro, and I'm inviting you to help bring more people to put more money there. So if we have only 29 units, we will need to reach, or one option is to reach 3.8 million in this loan, and to bridge until we are able to understand what is happening with the building rights. And I'm sure that over time, maybe it will take us 3 years to get to all the building rights, but we will get there. It's more a question of time because we have all these ruins. And then we have the opportunity to keep the owner 25%. We talked about it earlier. I don't want to get there, but this is an option. And then we have another option to postpone some of the payments and pay like 5% interest for the period of time that we are postponing it. This is not yet, something we received confirmation from the seller, but this is something we are trying to put in the deal in order to have more flexibility. So that's about like the summary of the deal and how it's constructed and the way we look at it financially. And I can talk a bit about, I'm not sure that this is for now. It's already too late, I think. So maybe we'll stop here, but I will say that we have also cash flow that shows our the points that we need to make decisions about how many people we invite in, when do we need to pay. So if we are inviting now 14 people for a home and 35 people for the membership, we have money until to cover the first payment, second payment, and some of the investment on the setup cost. But then somewhere until November, we will need to onboard more people. So in our plan, we have 15 people, again, for homes, and another 40 people for shares. If we do that, we are good to go until March with money. But then for the last payment, at the end of April, we will need to onboard some more people or to use a loan. This is also an option. So we are, maybe I will show that. You're here and you seem awake. So I will show it. just for the video and for the ones that want to understand this on a deeper level. Okay. So I'm not going to go over all the numbers, at least not the expenses. The expenses are the numbers I showed you before, but spread over time as we anticipate them to be. But I want to show you actually the inflow of money. So we are now in June. So imagine 14 members paying the first payment of their investment out of the 180. First payment is 14,000. And this is the money that we get in June. This money will enable us to sign the promissory agreement, pay 100,000 to the owner, and have some more money for other expenses around the deal. And then in July, 35 people are buying a share, putting again 14,000. It gives us not all the money to pay at the end of September, as I said, but some of it, and other expenses that we have. And then in August and September, somewhere in these dates, maybe until end of September, we onboard another 15. But then also the first 14 are paying the second payment of the 42,000. Okay, so once this is done in August, we have all the money that we need in order to pay the second payment, okay, in September, end of September. You can see the balance here. The balance is actually shown here, okay? So September, we are in, if we are following this plan, we have a balance of 70,000 euros based on 14, 35, and 15. And then if we onboard another 40 for the shares, we are already good to go until April, actually. But somewhere around April, we will need to onboard more people to have money to start building. So based on 29 homeowners and 75 shares or members, we are able to buy the land and stay with almost like 450,000 euros. But then we will need to onboard more people in order to start construction. And this is what I explained before about the risk of these 29 people, the risk of reaching this moment in April and for some reason find it difficult to onboard more people. So we have already here the 1 million of the loan that was not used in this plan and can be used here. So we have 1.435, but this is not enough to construct all the homes. We will need to bring more money here and we will need to onboard more people. And as I showed before, so we have 200 shares and we only used 75. So I'm sure that we will be able to use more. And if we did all the things that we believe that we do until this moment, I'm sure that we will be even oversubscribed. I see also the situation now, the people that want to join, the people that want to invest in at least in a share and then in a home. So I think that if we follow our plan, we will be in a good situation. Plus the loans that we are trying to receive now. So that's the way I see it. Any questions?
First, let's celebrate. We've been on this call for over 2 hours. So all those who survived till now, you guys are rock stars. But it is a lot to take in. So yeah, just to say that this information, like, it's a lot.
Yeah, thank you for attending, for being present, listening, asking. We invite you to challenge the plan, to challenge us, to ask more questions, to find the mistakes or bring better ideas. And I think the main thing is, let's do it together. Let's invest. Let's invite the right people. Let's attract also people that are able to support funding it and that will join the Goal Foundation. And let's make the decision now, because this is the time. So we need the strong wind and support from us, from the community, in order to move forward and to sign the contract in mid-July. So that will be like a significant support in this phase. So I hope that tomorrow you will all decide and sign and invest and everything. Yeah. So
can I have a last question?
One more question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
2 last questions. Go ahead. Noah, start.
So the question is, maybe you said it before, but the down payment, the first one and the second one, it's all the money, like it's all the amount altogether, or also the ones who are paying for a home? So there is a few stations on the way, or it's all of the amounts altogether?
Wait. If you invest in a home,
yeah.
So first payment is when you sign now, 14,000. That's the share. but you receive actually 2 shares if you invest in a home for the same price. This is one of your incentives. And then second payment is at the end of August, 42,000 for the land and building rights. And then third payment is at the end of November, getting to the 180. This is for people that are investing in a home. For people that are buying a share, it's 14,000 the moment they sign.
And that's it.
Yeah.
14,000, okay. And maybe like this is the closure of the deal. So maybe it's good to have it, you know, so it will be easy to reach these numbers.
You mean a paper?
There is so many numbers.
Yeah, the bottom line is this. You want to be part of Garden of Life Cooperative, you put 14,000 to have a share, and you add 166 to have a home. These are the numbers. They're like the bottom line. Yes, and Efrat?
Yes, I wanted to ask if we get to the point that we all paid the amount, okay, and we get to the point where we need to get more people to come so we can start building, okay? So in that point, how do we solve a problem of I don't know how to say it in English, like that we stand in the place and we can't go on?
You want to say it a moment in Hebrew?
כן, כאילו מה קורה בעצם ברגע שיש לנו את שמגיעים לנקודה הזאת שבה אנחנו מחכים בעצם, אני אומרת במרכאות, לעוד אנשים שיצטרפו, כדי שבעצם נוכל לבנות את הבתים שאותם בעצם השקענו בכסף רגע לפני.
Yeah, so there is the question is what happens in the time between the purchasing of the land and the time that more people are joining and we have enough funds to build. Maybe there is
yes. The thing is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, yeah, there is a risk. There is a risk we will need to pay. I'm optimistic about the ability to do it, and we created some other options. So the loan is one option. Doing some kind of arrangement with the owner is another option. Waiting a little bit and basing ourselves on what already exists on the land is another option. Getting external funding and is another option. Selling a part of the land, also another option. So we have flexibility. It's 150 hectare is huge, and it's divided into, like, we have some subplots. So worst case scenario, we can also decide to sell 10 hectare, okay, and bring more money. Or we have an agreement with the solar company and we get a lease of 2 or 3 million euros, another option. Like there are options, but
so you say it's a matter of it's a matter of time and
it's a matter of time, it's a matter of
but it's going to happen. Like we won't stay with our underwear in our hands.
You won't lose everything because you have the land, but you might be stuck and unable to realize your plans on the land for a certain period of time, and maybe the conditions in the market will make your land less liquid. It will be hard for you to sell it, for example, because no one will want to buy because, I don't know, the economy is bad and something like that. Like actually, like now, now it's a bit stuck. So
yeah, I want a house. It's like I'm not looking for like an investment for selling later. I'm looking for a life, and I'm looking for community, and I'm looking for being a midwife in a community. So for me, it's like a dream come true. But I just wondered, because if you tell me like 5 to 7 years tops, I can handle it. But if you say, listen, there is a chance you're going to lose I don't know, 100,000 euros, it's like painful.
No, so my risk analysis here is that the risk of losing everything is very, 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 very small, because we have the land, and the land has value, and this land specifically has, you know, the value of the villa with the swimming pool. It has a value, you know. So it's not like, it's not a land without anything somewhere. It's 1 hour from Lisbon. You know, I saw lands deep, deep, deep in Alentejo, in the border with Spain, lands that are less access, like the access is bad, the weather is bad, no water. And yeah, these lands you can, you know, you can get stuck with. I think our land here is more appealing also in the market, and this is, I think, a good thing for us. By the way, this is also why we are paying this price. Yeah, we can find similar size of land without all the infrastructure for, I don't know, 1 or 2 million euros somewhere in the border with Spain, but we won't be able to realize such a project there. So I want to emphasize, and it's important, that if you are joining the cooperative in this phase, you're joining as a partner, as an entrepreneur, as a pioneer, and sharing the risk and the reward. So there is risk. I feel the need to say it. There is a risk. It's not that you're coming and buying from a company a home and that's it, like a turnkey project. There is also a risk there, but let's you know, separate these. So there is a risk, but if you ask me, over the course of 5 years, I'm sure that all these questions will be solved. And this is why we are not inviting 50 people or 100 people to buy a home. I'm sure that if we'll do it as a business venture, it will be easy to sell these homes, because so many people want it. Even people from my series, even people from my family would want it as a second home. But I told them, look, like, no option. You need to be in the onboarding process. You need to live in the community. You need to be part of it. It's not like a second home project. It's not an investment, financial investment per se. So yeah, so that's my view. But again, this is my personal view. I gave you also like the grounding for that and the numbers for that. And I invite other people to also to analyze the risk and to bring their opinion if we have people that are capable to analyze it financially and market-wise. So this will, you know, help validate or find things that like blind spots in my analysis.
I also ask myself if, sorry, I know maybe you're tired and you want to finish already, but I can ask my question.
And we can have a call tomorrow, if not.
Sababa.
So yeah, but if there one last question, yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to know, I think I forgot my question. Yes, I forgot it. I will remember and I will write you. Yeah, yeah.
So good night, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for asking.
Good night.
Garden. Ciao.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.